Well, hello folks, hope you're all keeping well out there, and if you're watching this on Christmas Day, a Merry Christmas to you. And if you're wanting to get straight into the action and avoid all the guff at the start, go to about the 4-minute mark. Now this particular hunt was filmed last year, and as far as I remember, the farmer had most of his crop cut, but I think there was half a field left. I can't remember the reason. It must have came along really wet weather, because you'll see as I put the decoys down, the straw is still sitting in rows, but the grass is growing up through the stubble, so I hadn't been able to get onto the field for a while. The hide that I'm using is a 2-man hide called the Double Bush, I think it is, from bushwear.com. I bought quite a while ago. It's got a bit more room than the single hide, which is handy when you're decoying pigeons because it gives you a wider arc from left to right, because pigeons don't always land dab smack in the middle of your decoys every time. To help it blend in with the hedgerow, I put one of the 2-ply stealth nets around it, and then put lashings and lashings of sticky weed over the top of it, which seems to be growing in abundance down here. With that done, I needed to put my decoys out, and as you can see, it was a really foggy morning. Plus you can see that the straw is set out in rows, which turned out to be a bit of a pain later on, as you couldn't see the pigeons behind it at times. Now, I don't know what notion I took or what I was trying to prove this morning, but I brought 3 dead pigeons with me, which I set out as decoys, and only them, and left the plastic decoys in the bag. Now, the air rifle that I have with me today is of course my John Bowkett blueprinted BSA Super 10. It's in .22 caliber, shooting the JSB 15.89 exact Diabolo pellets at about 15 foot-pounds of energy. And yes, it's on my FAC, as anything over 1 joule in Northern Ireland needs a licence. The scope is an Nikko Stirling Targetmaster 4-16 by 44 with the LRX reticle, and I have the Tactacam Solo mounted to it with their FTS unit to film through the scope. And to keep things quiet, I've got a Virach silencer up front. And if you were wondering what I was doing with the tripod, I broke it the last day I was out and was just showing off that I'd fixed it again. Anyhow, even though you can see it's quite foggy, there seems to be a good number of rooks and jackdaws about. The first birds down into the decoys was probably a group of feral pigeons, but I usually leave them alone in the stubbles, as you're never quite sure whether or not they're somebody's racing birds. That, however, is a wood pigeon that's dropped down in, and it's definitely on the menu. You'll have to forgive me for the floating crosshairs, as I tried 3 times to switch the stability control off on the Tactacam Solo, and ended up doing a firmware update to finally get it to stay off. So I had my first bird down, but things was really quiet. Even though the fog had backed off, the birds just didn't seem interested. So I finally relented and set my plastic decoys out into a bigger spread to see if I could pull more birds in. And it looks like it's going to work. With a few more birds down, I decided to head out for a quick tidy up, and since the birds seemed to be favouring to land on my extreme left hand side, I decided to set the two birds I had just shot up as decoys more in the centre of the pattern to try and get the birds to land more in front of me. And I must have overdone it, as now the birds seem to want to land to my extreme right. And now they've switched to the left again. It's a bit of a longer shot, so I allowed for about 35 yards. But just pulled a few feathers out of the front of his breast. This one must have read the script, cause that's exactly where I wanted them to land. I honestly don't know what happened there. I got feathers, but no pigeon. Oh, make up your mind. This pigeon dropped down in right as I was trying to reload the magazine. Yep, got flustered and took the shot in an empty chamber. Oops, Took that shot before the Tactacam even had time to start recording. Oh, this is a close one. I could have done with adjusting the parallax. Still got it though. Close shave and a lucky pigeon. Think I pulled the shot to the left. Time for another quick tidy up and set the birds I've shot up as decoys. I've only just shot that pigeon and this young rook lands right beside it. That was a solid hit, but it's still not going down. Thankfully I get onto it for a second shot. It's still on its feet, but it's just about run out of piff. Looks like another rook's coming into land. Now we can shoot rooks, jackdaws and wood pigeons here in Northern Ireland under our general licences for the protection of crops. That straw's not making it easy. Yes, I'm out tidying the decoy pattern again. But honestly, with the air rifle, your decoy pattern has to look good, with no dead birds lying in awkward shapes. Otherwise, the incoming birds just won't land. Can we make this a double? Now that's the benefit of a silenced air rifle. Oh, I think the wind caught a hair of that one, as it looks as if it just grazed the bottom of its chin. Did I just shoot one of my decoys? Yep, look at the top right. Ah, they're too far to my right. I'm going to have to switch to my left hand. Ah, they're starting to land back round to my left again. I can hardly see it through the camouflage netting. It's hit, and it's hit well, but it's doing a powerful lot of flapping. Hopefully I'll get a second shot. Nope, I missed, but it looks like the first shot is finally taking effect, and it's down. That's odd. Something spooked all the pigeons out of the tree behind me. Ah, that's why. A buzzard's dropped down onto that last pigeon I shot. So I decided to go out and retrieve the bird. Not that I've anything against buzzards, or hawks to you Americans. It's just hard enough to decoy wood pigeons without a buzzard treating your decoy pattern as an all-you-can-eat buffet. Oh, looks like another left-hander. If I ever change this rifle, I think I'll go for an ambidextrous one. It's not giving me much of a target, but yeah, I can miss like the best of them. Now, if you get birds coming in like this, who obviously want to land, but can't decide where and end up flying off, then there's a good chance that there's something lying on its back or in an awkward shape, and you'll have to get out and yes, have a wee tidy up. Another possible reason for it that I've learned lately is if you're having a real good day and your decoy pattern gets busier, that might put off incoming birds as they can't find anywhere to land. So you need to keep a nice big open space for that so they can land in. Not again. That felt like a good shot too. But I'm going to have to change to my left hand to be able to follow him through for a follow-up shot. Thankfully, by the time I get onto it again, the first shot's just about taking effect. But I put a second one in it just to make sure. Wood pigeons can be a right tough bird at times. Looks like another close one. Now, that's the way I like to drop them. I don't know how, but I just clipped the feathers on the left hand side of its neck. Well, it's been a long day, and I've still all these birds to pack up and all my gear to put away, so I decided to call it quits. Man, I need bigger hands. Well, that's the end of another one, folks. Hope yous enjoyed it. Bit of a mixed bag, but right decent tally at the end of the day. It probably would have been a few more, except for a weena silly misses. But I hope yous are enjoying yourselves, whatever you're up to. And until next time, take care and look after yourselves, hey.